Very first person I worked on with cups. This gets a little interesting. 2016, moved to LA. And my brother had told me about how LA was the number one place where you could go somewhere, try out something new, and if you could do what you claimed, people were odds are going to continue to see you. And he wasn't wrong. Very first woman I saw had facial paralysis. Half of her face was frozen. A surgeon removing her back molars ended up over-injecting 13 times Novocaine and another form of anesthesia we didn't know the name of into the nerve, like physically pierced the nerve. The whole thing froze fascially, encapsulated, and left essentially the anesthetic present against the nerve, and it caused half of her face to basically be numb like she had a stroke. This woman was already suffering from alopecia and other kinds of complicated problems. At the time, I was using the concept of negative pressure engagement more for shoulder dysfunction, carpal tunnel thoracic outlet, frozen shoulder. We were using it for rib expansion, lower back pain, other kinds of things. And I thought about it and I was like, why not? Theoretically, the adaptation response should have happened over multiple engagements of the needle, and it would make sense for fascial encapsulation to take effect. So we put a cup right at the back of her jaw and right in front where the molar work had been done. And as soon as we opened it up, she started getting a taste in her as she was salivating that was very chemical. And it was an immediate response as the fascial encapsulation began to break down. And over the course of that session, she began to get feeling back and motion back in different aspects of her face. After our second session, we had full restoration. She had been this way for almost 4 years at this point. And it was one of those hallmark moments where it wasn't a specific application of something that I had seen previously, something that I had studied. This was a complete theoretical extrapolation with then a causal implication that I was able to verify. And that verification was the first step in the theory where I went, oh, we have a predictable model now of fascia, what it's going to do, under what conditions, and what I can do about it. And that was that big rabbit hole that made me shift and realize that negative pressure was more important than any compressive modality ever could be. And almost all of my research at that point hyper-focused on just the negative pressure element. And it took about 2 more years to fully finish the method. And then after that, since 2018, we've really been running hard with what we currently use as fascial integration therapy.